I've been seeing a lot of your videos. I know you do sales training, and honestly, as a little bit of admiration to you, you're like the network that you've built and all the success I feel like you've had, especially on LinkedIn, with your following and everything. You're ultimately where I want to be, right? I'm in sales right now. I'm a sales training manager here. I'll give you a little shout out of my sales floor that I'm operating out of right now. So we have a pretty big sales team, and we're in inside sales. And I'm always looking to connect with other sales professionals, especially on LinkedIn, and love to pick the brains of others, see what others have to offer. And I've picked up a lot of information from you as well. So just wanted to have a chat with you, see what you do, and see if how we can benefit each other, I guess.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit more about your team.
So we have, I got about just shy of 20 inside sales reps right now, business development reps, making cold calls, all that kind of stuff, and making 80 to 100 phone calls a day. What's up, Dave? What's up? What's going on? So we work in real estate, and we sell our services, real estate marketing services, to the top real estate agents across the country. And sorry, we got a lot of people. Got a lot going on right now. So, prospecting, making cold calls, doing follow-ups and setting appointments for our directors, our sales executives, to actually present our, do a demonstration, do presentations, and hopefully, sell and help real estate agents grow their business.
So what do you do? How do you make real estate agents happier?
We leverage their time. Because we basically we work in a real estate agent sales funnel for them. So we do everything from their lead generation all the way to their lead conversion, their video marketing, their social media management, making them, top of mind to their clients and within their database. And actually we run one of the largest inside sales organizations in the country for real estate agents, where we're prospecting like for sale by owners, expired listings, internet leads, and setting appointments for real estate agents to actually go and meet and deliver the presentation and, hopefully list and sell their home.
So if I'm a real estate agent, you help me get more listings?
Yes, help you get more listings. Yep, of course.
And you do that in a wide variety of ways. If I'm a real estate agent, you can help me get my presence out there so that when someone's moving into my neighborhood and they're doing a Google search or they're going on YouTube, that my name comes up and I'm top of mind as the go-to choice.
Yep. So we can work your database for you. So a real estate agent, you're a sales professional, you have a CRM where we would work your sales funnel or your database for you, doing all your email marketing, posting video content. I have my, digital marketing specialist right here. One of my girls right there doing our digital marketing video content creation. And then we have an inside sales team that actually calls and sets appointments from the database through internet leads for sell by owners, expireds, all that kind of stuff.
And from a marketing perspective, are you doing like Facebook stuff or different kind of ways? How are real estate agents getting the leads?
We have a variety of ways. RedX, we use Vulcan 7, mainly from their database, that kind of stuff.
And are you also helping them doing any kind of content marketing as well for the real estate agents? Do they do any kind of?
A little bit. We do a lot of Facebook. We do stuff through like Facebook for real estate agents.
Yeah, we do
Infographics, videos, educational content through Facebook for them.
Awesome. How may I be of service to you, man? How can I be most helpful for you?
So yeah, we're struggling right now, like getting presentations for like in our business development team when we're cold calling these real estate agents. We're struggling with our show up rate right now. So our goal is to get these real estate agents to show up to our presentation virtually, what we're doing right now, and actually getting them to show up and be open-minded to hearing what we're doing. So how an inside sales professional like yourself, how would you increase a show up rate with a prospective client in inside sales?
I actually think about it very differently. When people aren't showing up, it's because you're not interesting enough. So I guess my question would be, from a buyer's perspective, how are they currently getting the job done today? Because it's not enough to have a problem. The problem has to be really big for me to want to do something about it. Like, we all have problems every day. My Macintosh takes 4 minutes to boot up, but I just leave it on and let it boot up. It's a problem, but it's not a big enough problem for me to go out and buy a new Mac. But 4 months from now, if my hard drive starts to make a weird noise and I have a big presentation, I'm in the red zone of what I call the struggleometer, and I'm going to buy a new Mac. Oftentimes when you reach out to people from an outbound perspective, they're not ready to buy a new Mac right now, but they may be one day. I do this in my workshops all the time. Raise your hand if you're in the market to buy a PC right now. Out of 500 people, 3 or 4 hands go up. Raise your hand if you're going to buy one day. Everybody. That's outbound. So we have to be really good at knowing that when we do outbound, most of the people we contact are not in buying mode. They're not shopping, unlike inbound.
Right.
So the question that I have for you is, have you ever done the job of the real estate agent that you're selling to, you specifically?
I've not.
Or the people that are calling them?
No.
That's a big fucking problem.
Yeah.
And the reason it's a problem is because I know what you want to sell and I know what you want to do, but that's disconnected from what the buyer wants. The buyer is now getting the job done somehow. And you have to get closer to specifically what they're doing to get the job done specifically. And there's lots of ways you can do that. You can shadow them. You could call existing customers and understand their journey. What exactly was going on that eventually caused you to switch to something new? Because to switch to something new, you have to fire something old. And switching to something new is hard. I got to get rid of things that I've been doing for a while, habits.
Yeah.
So I have to understand more about the customer and the buying journey. And they're going to give you the magic language that you need to be more relevant to other people like them. Because oftentimes what I see is a huge disconnect between why companies think people buy in their messaging and why people actually buy. And that messaging disconnect is often the reason why people will agree to a meeting and not show up. Not even agree to a meeting in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you're speaking different lingo.
Right.
I'll give you an example. My previous role, the marketing department told us, we save HR professionals time and money. Something very generic like that. We went out and response rates sucked. Nobody was showing up. When we interviewed customers didn't talk like that. They said, we ended up hiring you guys because we wanted to feel less frazzled during open enrollment. We wanted fewer people knocking on our doors, asking us the same questions over and over again about their medical benefits. We were pulling our hair out. That language is key to understanding where your buyer is in their buying journey. And if they're not ready to buy, which most people aren't in outbound, you have to know that early on, and you have to have a strategy to nurture them so that when they are ready, they think of you. Which is very different than following up in 6 months saying, are you ready to buy now?
Right.
The barbecue guys did this really well when I was in the market. I was looking at barbecues, but I wasn't ready to buy. Only half my grill worked, but I was cooking for my wife and I, so it wasn't a big enough problem. And every month they'd send me a video on how to be a better griller, how to make salmon, how to make steak, how to make potatoes. And the videos were short, they were interesting, they were entertaining and informative. And of course, when I was ready to buy a grill, the barbecue guys were the only ones I ever thought of. Oftentimes, as sales professionals, we don't have a strategy in place when people aren't ready to buy. And you can't create urgency. You can shine a light on stuff and say, have you considered this? Do you know about this? But ultimately, the prospect has to be in the red zone on their own. And that's one of the big problems that I see from an outbound perspective is the reasons why you're selling are different than the reasons why people are buying or are interested in showing up. You're talking about what you're going to show them and the benefits on the meeting and what your features are, but they only care about problems and the struggles. And if they're not having any, they're not going to switch. Most of them anyway. Because switching's hard and expensive, and I don't know if it's going to work. It's risky.
Yeah.
I've been down this road before. I get called every week from a Facebook marketer. You guys sound just like every other person that calls me. So my advice to you would be to talk to some existing customers using a framework called Jobs to be Done. It's an interview framework that allows you to get to the reasons why people bought using their language. And that language you can use in your outreach. And then you'll be joining the customers in their mind as they're talking.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, that's how I talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
2 cents, man.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that. So it sounds like the outbound is just one way to get their attention. They're not going to be ready now, but obviously we have email campaigns, drip campaigns that'll be constantly nurturing them and doing a lot of follow-up and really reaching out to them is just focusing on their problems. I think the biggest takeaway I had was really speaking their language. So really, because our real estate, we have a brokerage as well. So maybe spending a lot of time with the agents and getting to know their language, reading more books on real estate agents, familiarizing myself with their language and actually being able to speak to their issues and their problems.
Yeah, there are 4 questions your prospects have before they decide if they want to take a meeting with you and hire you. The first question they have whenever they get your marketing message is, should I pay attention to you? Do you look like and sound like everybody else? Because if you do, I'm ignoring you. You're a white circle in a sea of white circles.
Yeah.
So to stand out, you need to be a red X. If you get past that and you answer that question, yes, the next question they have is, do I like you? Like my first impression of you, the first words that you write, you come across as someone that I like. After you get past that, the third question is, can you help me solve a problem that I have or do something better? And then after you answer that, the fourth question is, are you credible? So your marketing messages, there's different tactics that we use and strategies to be able to answer all those questions. And you have to answer them in order. And if you answer no to any of those, you're out of the game. That's it.
So how would you do that? How would I get their attention in the first?
That's a broader conversation. First thing we have to do, I'll give you some examples. David Trott, who's a legendary advertising genius, talks about this a lot. The brain ignores patterns. So if you're driving down a highway, you don't pay attention to every car because your brain needs to concentrate on where you're going. If your brain had to concentrate on every car and where you're going, your head would explode. Mm-hmm. So the brain ignores patterns. If all of a sudden you heard a crash, that gets your attention briefly because it's something different. It's a pattern interrupt, what Dave Trott calls a red X. And the brain has to know, what do I do with that? Am I in danger? I have to pay attention to that for a second. Mm-hmm. So red X with regards to outreach could be a direct mail in a green envelope that's handwritten. That's something someone's going to have to pay attention to because it's just different. Like, what is that? Mm-hmm. Rather than a white circle cold email template that everyone uses. That'll probably get ignored with jargon.
Yeah.
So, and there's ways to use copy also to be a red X, different depending on who you're selling to. So this concept of a red X is very important because if you don't answer yes to that first question, you're out of the game. You're just deleted real quick. And then the second question, do I like you? If you sound like a marketing robot and you're lifeless or you're not making people feel anything at all, you're going to get ignored. You make someone feel good or smile in some way, they'll want more of you. I mean, you like to hang out with people that make you feel good.
Yep.
When you make people feel good, the more likely they are to want to talk to you. And the more people you talk to, the more money you make. If you make people feel nothing or bad, getting 4% response rates, you're pissing off 97% of your addressable market. You're making them feel bad, and they want less of you.
Yep.
So that's it. And there's lots of, obviously, tactics underneath that, but that's the high-level framework for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. I think I had one last question for you, Josh. So I don't know if you'd be able to speak to this at all, but how have you really gotten the attention of, how have you been able to grow your LinkedIn network, so vastly?
Well, I think it's pretty simple. There's 3 things. Mm-hmm. Thing number 1, make people smarter in an entertaining way, consistently. And all 3 parts are very important. The most important being entertaining. Not enough to present content. You have to present content that people haven't heard before in a new and interesting way. So the I teach my wife sales thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I like that.
The idea.
It's unique.
It's a red X.
Yeah.
The sales content is nothing you probably haven't heard before. Yeah. It's presented in a new and interesting way.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And then you just invite people into your network that you think would enjoy that kind of content, and it kind of grows, and then you just do it consistently.
Who's the Claire? Do you know the agent down in Boca Raton? Rich Vecchio. Do you know Rich Vecchio? Is that about real estate agent Rich Vecchio?
I don't know anybody. Dude.
Well, man, well, he's a. It's actually funny because obviously, not obviously, but our companies we've grown, quite substantially. We're over in only 4 years. We're over 100 employees right now in sales, and we're actually thinking about at the end of this year opening another office. One of our clients, Rich Vecchio, he's a real estate agent down in Boca. Going to be opening an office at the end of this year in 2019 down in Boca Raton. So if we make that happen, Josh, we'll stay in touch, and we'll set up another call in about a month or so, and we'll stay in touch. Is there anything that I can do for you, Josh?
The only thing that helps me tremendously, if you're up for it, is if you write a post on LinkedIn and you tag me, say, hey, we spoke, got a lot of value out of talking to Josh, learned a bunch of things. Here's some of the things I took away. Great guy. And if you tag me on LinkedIn, that helps me tremendously.
Let me do this. Let me blow up my screen if you wouldn't mind. Claire, can you just take a picture quick of me and Josh on this call? And I'm actually gonna tag. Yeah, we'll turn up the brightness. I'll throw that on there. I'll tag you. You see?
Hey, Claire.
Nice.
Cool. So Josh, I'll tag that. I'll tag you. I'll throw up a post.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Pleasure meeting you, man. Thank you so much for following me. I appreciate it.
Josh, appreciate it, man. Thank you. Take care.
Take care.